Candy canes. You know 'em. We eat 'em. You either love or hate them. So, where did these candy sticks come from? Let's find out. The year is 1670, in Cologne, Germany. A choirmaster in the Cologne cathedral wished to quiet the children as they made noise and ruckus in the church during Christmas celebrations. So, the choirmaster asked a local candy maker to make the children some sugar sticks. To justify giving candy to the children during worship services, he had asked the candy maker to add a crook on top of the sticks. These, he thought, would help the children associate the candies with the shepherds who had visited the baby Jesus. That tradition then spread outwards to other parts of Europe where the candy was handed out during the reenactments of the nativity scene. A record of the 1837 exhibition of the Massachusetts Charitable Mechanic Association mentions a stick candy among one of the confections being judged that year. In 1844, in the book titled The Complete Confectioner, Pastry Cook, and Baker, Plain and Practical Directions for Making Confectionery and Pastry, and for Baking, a recipe was published for straight peppermint candy sticks that were white with colored stripings. The recipe was titled Pulled Peppermint Candy Sticks. For clove, ginger, or peppermint candy. These are all made in the same way as raspberry, using the essential oil of each for flavor. For clove, the mixture, whilst boiling, is colored with cochineal, ginger with saffron, but the peppermint must be kept perfectly white, except the stripes, which is done by cutting off as many pieces from the bulk as you have colors, which should be in powder. Put a sufficiency in each piece to give the desired tint, and keep them warm. When the remaining portion of the sugar is pulled, lay them over the surface in narrow stripes, double the roll together, and the face each way will be alike. Pull them out into long sticks, and twist them. Make them round by rolling them under the hand, or they may be cut into small pieces with a pair of shears or scissors. Peppermint decorations. The first believed use of candy canes as decoration was in 1847 by a man named August Imgard, a German-Swedish immigrant who celebrated Christmases in Wooster, Ohio. Feeling homesick, August Imgard had crossed the Little Apple Creek to cut down a blue spruce tree from woods outside of town. Upon his return, he had the village tinsmith craft a star to put on top of the tree. Imgard placed the tree in his home, decorating it with paper ornaments, apples, candles, nuts, popcorn and the candies. The National Confectioners Association also recognizes Imgard as the first to put candy canes on a Christmas tree. The canes were white, with no red stripes. To this day a small spruce tree is kept by his tomb, which is decorated and lit during the Christmas season. The first mentions of the candy cane in writings. In Ballou's Monthly Magazine, 1866. The word itself of candy cane was written down. However, there were no descriptions of color or flavor. The story was titled Tom Luther's Stockings, by Mrs. A. Bates. In the paragraphs mentioned it says, Tom stared at him with a puzzled smile, then pointing to some mammoth candy canes which were displayed in a shop window across the street, he said insinuatingly, "My little dear, just take me to the young lady, and you shall have those and enough candy to make you sick for a month." 16 years later, the Nursery Monthly Magazine in 1874 further associated the candy canes with Christmas. A child named Benny had written in a letter to Santa Claus, "And please bring me some writing paper and a candy cane." In 1882, the Babyland Magazine Volume 6 by Mrs. Ella Farman Pratt, the Lothrop and Company, mentions candy canes being placed on Christmas trees in the story titled Round the Christmas Tree. It goes, "Big Baby Belle and wee Baby Betty were large girls before they ever saw a Christmas tree. 2 years old and 5 years old. Mama always had been poor. She had no money to buy even a wee Christmas tree, and no time to make pretty things to put on it. So her little girls had hung their stockings, and been happy with a handful of candy. But this year money had come to Mama. Much money. And now she had time to make pretty things. So she brought a tall, handsome tree. Tall enough and handsome enough to make up for all the poor years. How green and how live it looked. She hung it up with gay candles and with golden oranges and red apples and bug pears and rosy sugar peaches, and tall twisted candy canes and great white popcorn balls, and dolls and pretty ribbons that tied painted picture books to the green limbs, and at the very top of the wonder tree she set a smiling Christ child. Then she lighted the candles and opened the door, and the little girls came in. At last baby Betty spoke. All for me. At last baby Belle spoke. Oh, my mama. What a beautiful Christmas. Then they all skipped round the tree, Mama and her two little girls, and the smiling Christ child seemed to smile more than ever to see this family so happy on his birthday night. These candies, much like others at the time, were made entirely by hand. In 1919, an investor, named Bob McCormack, visited Albany, Georgia, and decided it would be a good place for a candy business. He soon began making candy for the local children under the business name of the famous candy company with investors from back home. McCormack and fellow investor Bob Mills soon bought out the other backers. And in 1924, they changed the name of the company to Bob's Candy Company. Bob's Candies was so successful, they moved to a larger facility in the 1930s to expand its product lines. It was one of the few candy companies to maintain business during the Great Depression. A few short years later, on February 10, 1940, a tornado ravaged through Albany, Georgia's business district. Bob's Candies was leveled to the ground. By August that same year, they had rebuilt. On May 13, 1957, Gregory H. Keller, a Catholic priest and Robert McCormack's brother-in-law, patented the candy cane forming machine, which automated the process of forming the candies. How the Keller machine works. First, candy sticks cut to desired length enter the machine. Each stick is bent individually, but the machine has a system of multiple grippers and rollers to continually bend the sticks, one after the other. As each stick enters the machine, it is positioned in a gripper which holds the straight portion of the cane with the part to be bent protruding out. Each gripper has on one side a curved die which the protruding end will be bent over. The candy stick is first bent to a right angle as it is moved past and put into contact with an inclined face. Today, the sticks are wrapped in cellophane. Before, they are bent into shape. Bob's Candies became one of the world's leading candy cane producers. Bonus random facts. National Candy Cane Day is celebrated on December 26 in the United States. The average candy cane is about 5 inches long and contains only 50 calories. The biggest candy cane ever? Geneva pastry chef Alain Roby broke his third Guinness World Record by creating the world's longest candy cane on December 8, 2012, measuring at 51 feet long. The previous record was 38 feet. According to the chef, the candy cane took about 3 weeks and an estimated 900 pounds of sugar in total. He made the cane in 4 to 8 segments, putting them together. He used a large copper pot in the kitchen of his shop and twisted and rolled the segments by hand. Each one took around an hour and a half to 2 hours to twist and roll. According to a poll done by the National Confectioners Association, 58% of people prefer to start at the straight end of the cane, while 30% start at the curved end, and 12% break it into pieces. Flavors have come a long way. As of 2018 there were 25 flavors to choose from. Gravy, pickle, clam, rotisserie chicken, mac and cheese, bacon, wasabi, sriracha, blueberry, bubblegum, coffee, Sour Patch, Swedish Fish, Oreo, Starburst, Jelly Belly, Soda, Chocolate Mint, Birthday Cake, Pumpkin Pie, Sugar Plum, Cinnabon, Molasses, Apple Pie, and the classic, Peppermint. So, whether you eat it, crush it, or use it as a topping, Enjoy the wonderful variety of flavors of the candy cane. And have a wonderful Christmas season. Stay safe. Stay happy. And click that subscribe button to continue to learn more.